financial agreement between the IFA and Henry County. And so I have that, and would leave that with you. And if you could sign it, and then the auditor needs to attest it, and then if you'll call me, I'll come get it. Any questions unrelated to the housing?
Oh, I was gonna charge for our signatures.
That's fine. Put it on my bill.
I think we're good.
Otherwise, that concludes my report.
Thank you.
Thanks, Corey.
Thank you. See anybody from the chamber? Josh? Angela?
I don't know if everybody saw in the news this morning that the governor went ahead and asked every department within state government to go ahead and reduce the budget yet another 5%. I think I sent that to you, a link to that. So earlier in the week, we had received word that our District 6 regional health department liaison for emergency preparedness, that his job was being eliminated. So we now have no one to help guide us through any catastrophe that might happen between now and then, like we did with COVID. He was absolutely indispensable, as were the rest of the district managers. So there's another cut. And then we were also informed last week that our typical $25,000 that we get for that very small 20-hour-a-week position to help set up pods and things like that has been cut down to $20,000. So I'll be able to compensate that, move some funding around and put the 5,000 back. Otherwise, that individual would be expected to do the same amount of work for the last 10 years for $5,000 less a year. So happy news, right? I think that's it, unless you have any questions from me.
I think we're good.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Brian. Steve Rust isn't here, but we've got an easement. Joe? There's a copy where they want to put this in.
Steve couldn't be here today. The easement is for the gas company to cross the trail. Steve had talked to DNR about it. DNR does not have a problem with it as long as it's not exclusive easement. And my understanding that it is not an exclusive easement. So no problems. It should be fine.
And you reviewed it, so
I'm fine with it, yeah.
I'll say, 'cause I
Yeah.
looked it over and that's why I got everybody else involved to make sure there wasn't anything that I was missing, so.
If all the facilities are underground and don't interfere with the trail, that's no issue.
Okay. So I guess I would entertain a motion to approve them having an easement over, that trail.
So moved.
Second.
Motions are made and second to approve. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 3-0.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Joe. Tom, you got anything? Hey, I did. Well, no big deal. It's just Braden. You got anything, Braden? Everything's hunky-dory. All the roads are fixed, culverts are open, everything's paved, and you're getting ready to go to Tahiti, right? I do have a couple more culverts to inform you about, so. Okay. And on the sealed bids for the sheriff's department, those will not be open because there was a date put in wrong, so we'll do that at our next meeting. And do you have anything else? Debbie?
We got the auditor's office all moved. They are clearing out the floor today, or my whole length of my floor, and putting it in storage. And hopefully we'll be back in soon, but I don't know.
Yes, this has been a process. Okay, nobody from the clerk's office. Memorial Park. Mr. Green, we have a issue with a pickup truck that used to belong to the building inspector that's going an interdepartmental transfer. He is requesting that we allow the park to have that vehicle. It was last driven by the surveyor till he got his vehicle replaced. I don't have an issue with doing that. Do the other commissioners have any questions?
No, that sounds like a good idea.
We have a couple of old Gators out there that have been doing duty as small pickup trucks, and they have suffered greatly over the years. So one of them is probably pretty much dead and the other one's dying. So we think that truck will help quite a bit with the smaller jobs in the park.
Okay, I would entertain a motion to complete that transfer.
So moved.
Second?
Motion's been made and seconded. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 3-0. I don't see Jody. Lisa? There you are. You got anything, Lisa? Okay. I don't see Gabe. Brian? Okay. Mandy? Everybody's good. Bill?
He's not there.
Troy? Well, that pretty much takes care of that page. Next, under new business, we are discussing after this meeting, new locations for our meetings, because they're going to start the demo and remodel on this floor. So the second floor will pretty much be closed until they are completed. Right now, it appears we have an understanding with the sheriff's department to meet there.
Ann and I right now are working on her calendar from August, will be September through October.
Okay,
So, we're gonna plan on having it there unless something comes up, but she's working on her calendar right now. We'll plan on having it, but we are still working on that. I want you to know.
okay. So at least for the immediate future, all the meetings that are held here in this room are going to be moved to the sheriff's office conference room, correct? If everyone's okay with that. So I guess I need a motion.
Motion to approve.
I second.
Motion's made and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 3-0. Next up, there is an agreement for the termination of agreement between the zoning and the town of Spiceland. Spiceland wants to terminate this agreement. I think all the parties have been in communication. Joel, I'll let you
Sure.
give me the highlights of what you think this.
Yeah, several years ago, as you can see from the agreement, the county agreed to provide planning and building inspection services for Spiceland. Spiceland in the end of last year opted out of Henry County zoning with the intention of eventually adopting its own zoning code, its own building and planning departments. So I guess at this point, there is no zoning code in Spiceland since they've opted out of being subject to the county code. So I don't know necessarily when we're approving permits, what we would be looking at if there are in fact no zoning or building, if they've opted out of having the county perform that service. So the request has been made, can we terminate this agreement early? I don't know if Tom wants to weigh in on this at all or not.
Also, because I have concerns over liability. if we're not involved and somebody builds something that's not been,
Well,
or
again, they
zoned-
have
zoned in.
they have jurisdiction over their town, and if they've
Yes.
told us we're no longer, I mean, like I said, any of these towns can elect to opt out of the county zoning. I mean, for instance, for a long time, Kennard, for instance, was
Yes.
out of the county zoning, and you could essentially build what you wanted on your property there,
When did that change?
like last year maybe, or the year before.
Okay.
And I think there's probably at least one town that's probably not subject to the county zoning.
Right, yeah, there's just one town left now. Kennard and Caddis both joined within the last year or so. Spiceland wants to do things on their own. So they don't have any permitting process right now, as far as I know. And I don't know that they've put together a comprehensive plan or anything else. So they would just be kind of on their own. They're not required to be a member, even though they signed an agreement to give us 18 months notice before they separated from doing planning and zoning through the county.
So did Kennard have, during all those years, comprehensive plan and?
No,
Yeah,
it was pretty much whatever you wanted to build,
Right.
you could build.
I'll say my only other concern is if it does involve building inspector,
Yeah, that is a concern. If we permit it, then we should inspect it. If we're not permitting it, then I don't think it's probably wise for the commissioners to send their inspector in to inspect something that we didn't permit. But that's,
Yeah, I mean, they do have autonomy over what's in their town. So
Yeah.
if they say we want to, not have building standards for some particular period of time and someone wants to build something there, then there's probably not a lot that's stopping them.
now they may very well want to actually inspect. We follow the state standards. We have very few special standards that we use. So if our building inspector wants to go down there, they could compensate the county in some way if they want to use our building inspector, or they can go get their own.
sounds like,
Don't know what their plans are.
it sounds like if they're gonna do it on their own, maybe it would be best if we didn't involve ourselves at all. And
I
if
know
they
that I
would inspect it
was,
on their own, whatever permitting process they want to have, whatever standards they want to have.
I think there
rather
would,
than
yeah, I think
mix them
there's
together,
legal
perhaps.
implications
I don't
there
know.
if we would inspect something that's,
Yeah, I think if you're going to do a break, it's going to be a clean break or,
Okay.
they need to,
that's all I want to make sure we're
Yeah.
not putting ourselves.
no,
in
this would be a
position.
clean break.
Okay.
If you agree to allow
Because
an
I
early
know
termination of that
If we
agreement.
don't, if we don't agree to immediately terminate, I was informed that at their town board meeting, they did grant the okay for the issue that you were about the lady building the garage by the alley. They approved that to allow that to be done. So if that makes any difference, the town said it was okay. So whether we terminate that agreement early or not, because that's going to be the question for us right now, is they're wanting to terminate it immediately. There's an 18-month period in there that was agreed to originally, that once they notified us, it took 18 months for us to completely dissolve ourselves from it. So the question before this board right now is, do we want to go ahead and end it prematurely? And if everyone is okay, we'll take that on a vote. If not, then it will be the 18 months from the time that they told us they wanted to. So I guess that's,
And one other issue that I think you could run into, I mean, and I don't know how likely this is, but if you have someone that wants to build something there and then the county says, okay, well, you've got to get a building permit, and they say, well, no, Spiceland doesn't have these requirements. I'm not getting a building permit. I think they're probably correct at that point, that there's nothing left for us to enforce at that point.
Yeah, I think if they want to do it on their own, it doesn't do us any good to try to do this medium stage phase for 18 months until they do it on their own. I think that's my thought about it.
I mean, I can tell you, most people that have loans to build a property are going, their lender's going to want it to ensure that it's built to some standard.
yes.
Right.
But I suppose if someone came in and said, I want to put up a garage and I'm going to build it myself and I want it to be, 6 inches from the neighbor's property line and, there's no zoning code out there right now, there's probably not a lot we could do to stop that permit from being issued if they pressed it.
Are you the attorney for the town of?
No,
Scottsdale?
I'm not.
Do they have a,
They do have an attorney
who's hopefully advising them of all of
who's
these
asked that this
concerns?
agreement, yeah, be terminated. So I assume they know all those risks that go in when they're in an interim position where they don't have.
Right.
So you don't have a problem
I,
either?
I don't have a problem with it because I don't know if there's anything left for us to enforce it as the things stand right now.
Okay.
Make a motion to terminate it
Yeah,
immediately.
I second.
Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 3-0. Next I have a variance on a driveway for a Jordan shoe. And I showed you guys the diagram of where it was originally proposed, and then there was an alternate up at the corner. He would like to have it moved down to this area. Joe, do you have anything to say on this? That, because I've had you and Steve, and I've even talked to Tom about this, what we're going to do or how it should be handled.
Let me give you some background. My understanding, the speed, there is no posted speed on that road. So it's 55 maximum. But he's between two curves. And the one curve coming in that's the shortest distance is 300 feet to that curve. And the ordinance says that would be 300 feet would be 40 miles an hour would be acceptable. I don't believe people are going to be taking that curve at greater than 40 miles per hour. So they should be able to see if they look over that way. I mean, the ordinance does say 55, but because of the curve, they have to reduce their speed to come through it. So I don't see a problem with looking over at that curve at a lower speed.
I'll say, I didn't get any negative from them allowing the driveway to be moved from any of the departments. I know he had spoke with Braden, and Braden said that was our code, so he came to the
55.
commissioners to see him move it. Do you have a problem with him moving it?
55 is the ordinance. We've, we reduced one other one I can remember, and I'm not sure it was on 650 North. It was near a stop sign. And because of the stop sign and the reduction in speed that we allowed the approach, the driveway.
Okay.
Yeah, I remember that.
Well, after, I've showed the colleagues the diagram, does anyone have any objection to allowing him a variance to move his driveway closer to the property line out of that curve?
I'll make a motion to approve the variance.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 3-0. I don't believe I have anything else.
I have a quick question before you go to public comment, if that's what you're doing.
Go ahead.
So, from a department head standpoint, we all received an email this week with big, long explanation that I don't think I quite understood, about Wagner, Irwin, and Shealy and raises and this, that, and another. So I just kind of want to put this out there because there's no possible way that my department can encumber a raise of 1%, let alone anything else, let alone putting everything to 97%. I appreciate all the work that's been done in the last few years, and that was made abundantly clear in the email that how hard the council had worked to get there. So not to take away from that, but Delaware County, this is an example of where they were at in a few years ago. They ended up taking their 35-hour-a-week positions down to 32 hours a week, having the offices only open 4 days a week and making that full time because they couldn't actually have the money to pay more on the hour. So I just thought, since it went out nationwide on that email, and like I stuck I can't. So if we get to it to where that's what the council's gonna do, my understanding is that if we do something like that and make a change to the policy manual, that's under the purview of the three of you and not of the council. And so I wanted to get that ball rolling because they're going to need, they've already sent out things saying that they need budgets. So you know how that goes. The raises are always the last thing, and then they put budgets in, and then at the 11th hour, they're trying to redo everybody's budget again because of the raise. So
So are you asking us to consider reducing hours of week rather than raising wages?
that's what the health department is going to have to do. I'm telling you that as their director, and they can fire me later, but I cannot and will not accept any direction from this council telling me I have to give my people a raise this year because I don't have it. I can't sustain what they made me do last year. And I couldn't get them to understand that. So moving forward, since it's already been brought up in an email, I might as well just put it out there. So, I mean, and that 32 hours puts us at full time, right? So it would just mean that our hourly rate technically would go up, but we would cut 3 hours of service to the public every week. So, thank you.
Thank you, Angela.
Anything else? Would entertain a motion to adjourn. I already entertained a motion to adjourn. See, and that's why I don't want you talking.
So moved.
That's why, see, that's viewpoint discrimination. I got a bunch of laws right here. This ignorant motherfucker doesn't even know.
See, there again,
I don't give a
enough.
Motion
fuck.
to adjourn.
But
I don't give a fuck at this point.
your language is unacceptable, Rick.
I
I'm
don't give a
sorry.
Fuck, it's constitutionally protected.
That's,
Wait a
it's,
minute. You can't trip. You're gonna allow, so, yeah, you sure you're gonna allow that? So you're gonna-
we're adjourned.